Coming up on 7:59, we've got a traffic alert now in Clark County. The I-5 drive is tough, but the I-205 drive now has ballooned up because of a crash south of Mill Plain. Let's zoom in on the traffic map right now. The crash is just north of actually SR 14 on southbound 205, and that is traffic really plugged up. There's the live look from Mill Plain Boulevard, and you can see all three lanes of southbound 205 not completely stopped, but pretty close to it. And that lineup extends almost 3.5 miles back to SR 500. So plan some extra time there, or maybe try I-5. The end of the line has made its way down to SR 500 on I-5 at this point. Rod?
All right, important information there. Thank you, Chris. We have a KGW weather impact alert with the Weather Service's heat advisory that starts at noon today and goes through the day tomorrow. Now, this morning, it's really nice. Salem is at 59 degrees. Portland is also looking at sunny skies, and our current temperature is setting at 59 as well. The warm-up starts at noon, 80. It looks like we'll get up to about 94 today.
Now at 8 o'clock, it's a KGW Weather Impact Alert Day with temps in the 90s expected around the area today and what could be the hottest day of the year on tap for tomorrow. Info on local cooling shelters, other ways to beat the heat, and Rod Hill's complete forecast, all of that coming up.
And we're also tracking the largest wildfire in the state this morning. The Cram fire burning near Madras in Central Oregon has exploded to 28,000 acres. We'll have the latest on the efforts to contain it.
And it is official. The Portland Fire are back. That's the new name of Portland's new WNBA team, same as it was the last time the city had a team in the league over 20 years ago. We'll get your reaction to the name and the new team logo revealed earlier this morning, all coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour of sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Yeah, the Portland Fire. Back.
Woo!
We have it once again. We learned 2 hours ago that will be the name of the city's WNBA team that will take the court for the first time next summer. So I think we were all in agreement that the Fire is a good name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any debate of a logo? Are we liking the logo?
The logo just screams Portland Fire, like Portland Fire Department.
Now, I can tell that Rod is chomping in the bit back there in the background, but before we hear Rod's reaction, we want to hear about our viewers' reaction.
Yeah,
right?
What do you think about the name reveal, about the logo, anything? Let us know by texting us at 503-226-5088. We'll take a look at some of your thoughts coming up at 8:15.
Also know this, the team is going to host a launch party later this afternoon starting at 3 o'clock at the Moda Center, and we will carry that launch party live right here on KGW Plus. All those festivities streaming live right here on, your favorite TV streaming app, KGW Plus.
All right, Rod, go.
All right.
Go.
No, we all agree that we love the part of the logo that has the rose as the centerpiece of the fire, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of the fire rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love that.
The Fire Rose.
The fire.
Question.
I think Chris said that, yeah.
Do we know where we sit with draft picks? Like, do we get the top 3 draft picks
No.
to field our team?
We get draft picks. I don't know how that works exactly. I think they still give the top pick in next year's draft to the team with the worst record in the league or something like that.
I think they should give it to the new team.
Yeah, we didn't win a game last
I'm
year.
sure the other teams feel good about that. All right, so Rodney and Chris on board with some weather and traffic for us. Rob, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so the big story is the building heat today will get up into the low to mid 90s. We've been there before this year, but it's a 2-day event, and tomorrow is the real concern day as temperatures are still on track to be upper 90s to maybe even somebody in the valley says, hey, I hit 100. That would be tomorrow. Here we are this morning, Salem Tasting Room camera out in Sherwood, 58 degrees. It's a really nice morning. No clue if you're outdoors right now that's going to be heating up later today, but it will. Here's downtown Portland, now up to 59, of course, rising temps in the 8 o'clock hour. We could make a big jump between 11 and noon and get up to 80. If we don't make it by noon, we'll be up into the 80s by 1. And then I have today's high temperature at 94 degrees. Again, as I always say, plan your day accordingly. You'll feel the heat building this afternoon. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with a traffic alert on the east side of Vancouver. I-205 southbound between Mill Plain and SR 14. There's a wreck that has at least one lane blocked. I don't see the crash on camera, but guys, we've been showing you this Mill Plain camera at I-205 for the last 15 minutes, and these cars are hardly moving at this point. So I-205 south, a mess right now in Clark County because of that wreck. Again, I don't have any details on it, but I can show you the backup right now, which is about 3.5 miles from SR 14 back to SR 500 at this point. So it's a 30-minute drive and building quickly to get in from Patton Parkway down to the Banfield. The I-5 drive is slow, but it's getting better. The end of the line now has made its way down to SR 500, and this is normal for this hour of a Tuesday morning commute. Elsewhere, drives in full swing. You're tripping from Wilsonville about 33 minutes, 24 minutes get you in from Troutdale. Guys?
Chris, thank you. All right, we got some fire coverage to talk about here. The Cram fire burning in Central Oregon near Madras has exploded to more than 28,000 acres. Officials say it is now the largest wildfire burning in the state. Firefighters say gusty winds caused it to grow to the south, to the east, and level 3 go now orders are in place south of Antelope along Highway 293 and east from Highway 97 all the way to Wheeler County. So here's a live look from the University of Oregon's wildfire camera up on Grizzly Mountain. You can see the smoke there on the screen. It's rising from the fire.
Governor Kotek authorized more state resources to fight not only that fire, the Cram fire, but also the Highland fire that's burning in Crook County, 2 miles south of Prineville. FEMA also freed up some money, some federal money, to help with this fight. So the Highland fire has burned just over 700 acres at this point. We also know it's 30% contained. Evacuation orders are still in place, but it doesn't appear that this fire has destroyed any structures.
I was already contemplating tying my clothes together to lower my child down, and then I was going to jump.
Yeah, that's what went through one mother's mind when she realized that her East Portland apartment building was on fire. She says that she woke up to someone yelling, and then she grabbed her 5-year-old son. But when she tried to escape through the front door, she ran into a wall of flames. And that's when she busted out the screen window, and thankfully firefighters came to her and her son's rescue. Now, the man accused of starting that fire is 40-year-old Sean Swartz. He appeared in court yesterday. That's what he looks like. He's charged with 6 counts of first-degree arson, among other crimes. Investigators say Swartz used gasoline to start the fire in his first-floor unit. More than a dozen people lost their homes.
I think the biggest one is probably anger, because first of all, like us 5 families in the front, we all could have died, and my son and I were so close to dying.
Cool.
Portland Fire says one of the victims that jumped out of the window remains in the hospital.
The suspect charged with shooting and killing a man across from the Central Library in downtown Portland earlier this month has pleaded not guilty. 26-year-old Hassan Muse is accused of killing 50-year-old Douglas Ivers. The charges against Muse include murder, unlawful use of a weapon, and aggravated harassment. He's due back in court next month. Also appearing in court yesterday, the man accused of stealing an excavator last month and then using it to break into a drive-through ATM. This happened at a U.S. bank in Clackamas over on Sunnyside Road. Matthew Armour faces several charges, including aggravated theft and conspiracy. He's being held in jail on $60,000 bail. There's also a second suspect in this case who's also facing charges.
Just in time for all the heat we're going to see this week, a 1940s era pool has reopened in North Portland after it was closed for a year for repairs. Pier Pool has been around for more than 80 years now, but last year the equipment at the pool failed a week into the swimming season.
As a community, we depend on swimming pools for cooling and learning to swim and places of gathering, but suddenly the pool closed with no opening in sight. And so Friends of Pier Park, we came together and we made a small little ruckus, just brought attention to the problem.
Doing everything we can to figure out what repairs we could get made to make sure that we could get back open to the public out here. So myself, my team, the community, everybody is just thrilled that we finally are back open today.
Pier Pool is now open through September. You can also sign up for programs that include swim lessons and lifeguard classes.
We know a lot of people will look to cool off in local lakes and rivers as well this week, and that brings reminders, the usual reminders from first responders. Most of this is common sense, but all of it's worth repeating. From wearing a life jacket to going into water feet first, don't dive. You should also avoid swimming alone. Always keep a close eye on kids and stay sober. That goes for swimmers and boaters. Well, Clackamas County will be opening up cooling shelters around the county this week.
One of those cooling shelters is at the Letting Library in Milwaukee. That's where we find Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz. So Thomas, how many cooling shelters are open?
Well, guys, there's 20 all around Clackamas County, and frankly, they're everywhere, from Welch's to Wilsonville to here in Milwaukee. The National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory for Clackamas County stemming from noon today to 10 p.m. tomorrow night. This comes as temperatures are expected to be in the 90s over the next couple of days. Guys, tomorrow they could top out around 100 degrees. Many of those daytime cooling centers are open in public libraries and community centers across the county. Overnight shelters are also available as needed. If you need a place to stay overnight during this heat wave, contact Clackamas County. In Washington County, many public libraries are available as cooling stations. Splash pads are also open to help people cool down. And in Multnomah County, cooling centers are not open yet, though they mentioned many libraries and community centers are open to cool off. Now, coming up in about half an hour here, I'm going to delve a little bit more into ways to stay cool during this heat. Over the next couple of days, again, temperatures could top around 100 degrees tomorrow. And Rod, I know that you've been tracking all of this heat very closely back there in the Weather Center.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas, for that live report out in Clackamas County. The heat advisory Thomas mentioned starts at noon today, goes through tomorrow evening. This is up and down I-5, Longview down past Eugene, and then in the gorge out toward Hood River as well. The coast models say mostly in the 70s today. And we have varying coastal conditions. I do want to touch on your forecast. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. You can tell it's trying to be sunny, but there's some shallow fog right along the beach right now. Temperature is 51 degrees. Winds are calm. You get a sunnier view, but similar really. This is also in Lincoln County. This is the Otter Crest down farther south along the coast looking to the south. Now, areas that have sunshine today with winds expected to be fairly light will bounce easily up into the 70s. The wind flow today looks to be variable to west at the beaches, generally light to no more than 15. Inland areas, right now, very comfortable. Take advantage. 59 in Tigard and Wilsonville. It's really a delightful morning with zero concerns at this hour. 53 in Silverton, 57 degrees out in McMinnville. Here come the afternoon numbers. Again, this is not overly hot today, low to mid 90s expected, but it is day one of building heat with the spike temperatures coming tomorrow. It still shows 74 up in Astoria. It's a cool off day for you folks watching us in central and eastern Oregon. Good news for fire crews, obviously. 84 in Madras, 79 at 5 o'clock out in Baker City. Okay, here comes the 7-day. So the latest, 94 today, 98 tomorrow. Remember, we haven't been above 96. So this is the main reason for all the headlines, if you will. 98 degrees tomorrow. We haven't been that hot. Thankfully, it looks like we will have a rapid cool down on Thursday. In fact, Thursday may or may not make it to 90. And then we've got 85 on Friday and then closer to 80 degrees as we get rolling through the weekend. Not looking for a lot of wind today. The wind we do get, Chris, should be north to east this afternoon, sir.
Okay, Rod, I want to pick it up with a traffic alert on the east side of Vancouver. Again, I-205 southbound near 10th Street. So basically south of Mill Plain, north of SR14. We've got a wreck that has, it looks like the left lane blocked. We'll give you the perspective from Mill Plain Boulevard. Not sure why my map is doing that. Let me zoom in real quick. There it is, right there. You can see the flashing lights off in the distance. I-205 south is a mess right now on the east side of Vancouver. We're backed up solidly nearly 4 miles. This is the look right now back towards SR 500. You're puttering along. In fact, that lineup is starting to extend back up toward Paddon Parkway. So 31 minutes, that southbound 205 drive now, Paddon Parkway to the Banfield, and that drive time continues going up. The I-5 drive is improving. The end of the line actually starts around SR 500 right here, but from there, of course, it's slow and go the rest of the way into town. And elsewhere, the remainder of our drive times are not terrible. I-5 from Wilsonville right now, Drew, that's the next big slow spot, slow through Wilsonville. And again, to Tualatin. Boone Bridge to the Markham Bridge is about a 35-minute commute.
Yeah, definitely one of our normal slow spots this time in the morning, Chris. Hey, this was breaking news on the Sunrise Show 2 hours ago at 6 o'clock. Portland's new WNBA team has a name. It's the Portland Fire, the same name we had for our WNBA team 20 years ago. We'll have your reaction to this news, more on the new logo and the name coming up here on Sunrise.
Increasingly frustrated with Russian President Putin, President Trump is issuing an ultimatum: 50 days to reach a ceasefire deal in Ukraine or face some stiff economic penalties. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest details coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
This is where our story began, and now it's time to write the next chapter. This is Portland, and in 2026, this is the city that will bring the game back. Welcome to the Portland Fire. Reborn.
So there you go. A couple of hours ago, that posted on X, Portland Fire. That's the name of the team that is coming to Portland next summer. It's the same name of the WNBA team we had in the city 20 years ago. So what was once before is now new again. And that's a look at the team's new logo, the Portland Fire, making their debut in the summer of 2026.
So we asked you guys earlier this morning to weigh in with what you think of the team name. Here's what we got. I am extremely disappointed in the name chosen for the WNBA Portland team. I personally think Flair has more pizzazz. Since you already announced the name, I guess there's no backseas.
No, we can't go back now.
That's true.
And it wasn't our choice.
Yeah, I agree with China. My first thought was it looks like Portland Fire Department logo. See? You see what I'm saying?
And I think but I think it does on purpose. I think you're right, and I think they did that intentionally to just honor the Portland Fire Department a little bit with this Portland Fire name.
Yeah.
All right, hey, you want to keep these opinions coming? We will accept them. You can text us your thoughts. 503-226-5088 is the text line. We'll share as many opinions and responses as we can between now and 9 o'clock. Also, a heads up, the team is holding a party this afternoon starting at 3 o'clock at the Moda Center to celebrate the official new name, the Fire, and also that logo we just showed you a moment ago. We're going to stream all those festivities for you right here on KGW Plus starting at 3 o'clock.
Now, I'm going to be real here, and this is probably going to ruffle some feathers, as I do. But I just feel like that video was a moment to get the city like super excited for the WNBA team, for a women's team, for a new basketball team. Like, let's feel it. Like, I'm sure you guys, or maybe you don't remember when the Seattle Kraken released that they were having. I mean, it got you fired up. You wanted to run through a wall. That video was kind of like, hey, the Portland Fire's coming.
It was pretty tame.
See you soon. Like,
it was pretty tame.
Cool. I want to run through a wall.
Yeah, that's the video that was posted on X today to say officially we are the Portland Fire. And you're right. It lacked that fire.
Yeah.
The fire post lacked fire.
Oh, you guys are cracking me up. You could probably Google this at home, but all of a sudden I do want to go back down memory lane and see what our logo was from the original WNBA team.
What year was it?
20 years ago.
2001.
2001?
Portland.
It was here for 3 years. I think
Fire.
2000.
Assuming it's an easy
2003.
Google to see what the jersey looked like. Does it come up?
There was a flame
she's
involved. I
checking.
remember that.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Does it have a flame in the logo?
It looks very much like it was 25 years old.
It looks 25 years old.
Oh, it's like a flame.
Are we able to
over
zoom
the-
in on this?
Oh, look at
this.
Brian Matthews.
Very
wow,
nicely
that's
done,
pretty good.
guys.
So it's like a fire with the sun in the background.
It
Is
looks
that
like a
what I'm looking
volleyball.
I think that was a basketball.
Okay. that makes sense.
at? A basketball with like sun rays off it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
No,
a
the
basketball.
current logo
All right.
kills that one, in my opinion.
I love the centerpiece of the rose being the center of the fire. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So there you go.
Moving
Portland
on?
Fire. Yeah, sure. Move on.
Yeah, moving on.
We got hot temperatures to
What
talk
the heck?
about.
Yeah, we do. Speaking of the fire, we have watch warning map. Yeah, that shows the heat advisory. Starts at noon today, goes through tomorrow evening. This is Longview down through Eugene and out into the Columbia River Gorge. It stops before Wasco County, as you can see, where you folks obviously in the Dalles a lot more used to temperatures well up into the 90s than we are here in the valley. All right. So our KGW impact alert noon today through tomorrow evening, exhaustion, heat stroke. Today's not really a concern. Today's kind of, all right, we're heating up. That's kind of today, 94. Tomorrow, I don't think Portland hits 100 degrees, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have some spotty areas report 100 degrees in the valley tomorrow. It's going to be upper 90s, we think, on as a whole. So, shade, water, rest breaks, be aware of your body's warning signs when you need to hydrate or get inside, seek some cooling off. Thomas Schultz, I believe, has another live report, and he'll address that topic specifically coming up a little bit later in our show this morning. Here's the temperature March. This is this afternoon. Shows a 5 o'clock 88 in Longview, but 90s from Portland, Salem, Corvallis, Eugene, where we've been several times, about 94. Not as hot out east today. Nice cool off east of the Cascades. And again, tomorrow, the hottest weather will again be up and down I-5 in our state. Here's the concern tomorrow, 98, 99, 98, 98, 98. Could somebody reach 100 degrees tomorrow? Absolutely. Absolutely. The records are above 100. I think tomorrow's record is 104, if my memory is correct. And then we will break the heat. This is Thursday. This shows, and we're forecasting maybe 90 on Thursday, but this is not the only model that actually keeps us in the 80s on Thursday. So again, today we feel the heat. Tomorrow we're really concerned about it. And then Thursday, it's over. So let's get through this. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. Beautiful sunny day here, 65 degrees. Winds are light. Wind direction today will be north-northeast. It looks like 10 to 20 mile per hour breezes, maybe taking over from the east in the gorge today. So we'll take a look at that. Here's the Reserve Vintage and Golf Club out low. Beautiful morning, 59 degrees. Winds are light. Providence Park, 60 is our number. Here are the other temps. Sunshine down in Newport being reported, 52. Astoria now 57. The coast expected to break out of a mixed bag of low clouds this morning, 64 out in John Day. And let's get you to the valley numbers, and we'll get you to your 7 days. So 94 in Salem, wind direction today, northeast 5 to 15. That wind direction, by the way, potentially later today or maybe not until tomorrow, will start drifting in just a little bit of noticeable wildfire haze. We have that big fire that's now over 20,000 acres burning over in Jefferson County outside of Madras. We'll go 94 today, 98 tomorrow with the impact alert for the hot weather, and then 90 or maybe cooler on Thursday. I may get to adjust this number downward at noon today when I look at the morning numbers coming in. And then the weekend right now looks really comfortable. Here's Chris.
Thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert on the east side of Vancouver. I-205 southbound is a mess because of this wreck near Southeast 10th Street or McGivelry Boulevard. It looks like it's north of SR14. There, I think you can kind of see it off in the distance. At least one lane is blocked, and southbound 205 has been plugged up for a good 45 minutes. We'll take you farther north. This is the look near north of Mill Plain and then up past SR 500. In fact, all the way up towards Patton Parkway now, southbound 205 hits the brakes. So a really slow commute there. Avoid it if you can. The I-5 drive is not great, but it is moving better. The end of the line there is at SR 500. 30 minutes gets you into, from Main Street down to the Fremont. But now we're approaching 40 minutes to get you in from Patton Parkway south to Interstate 84. That is a rough commute this morning. Northbound I-5 from Wilsonville, also a little slow, 40 minutes now to get you in from the Boone Bridge north to the Markham Bridge. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Your time now is 8:23. 50 days or else. That's the warning from President Trump to Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling him to end the war in Ukraine. President Trump also promised weapons to Ukraine and is threatening more sanctions against Russia. NBC's Alice Barr brings us the latest from Washington, D.C.
As Russian attacks on Ukraine have only increased, so has President Trump's frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
We want to see it end. and I'm disappointed in President Putin.
Sitting alongside NATO's Secretary General, President Trump announcing plans to rearm Ukraine with billions of dollars worth of weapons, including Patriot air defense systems made in the U.S. and sold to NATO allies in Europe to then hand over to Ukraine.
We're going to make top-of-the-line weapons, and they'll be sent to NATO. We're going to have some come very soon, within days, actually.
The president also setting a 50-day deadline for Russia to agree to a ceasefire or face steep sanctions on trading partners who buy Russian oil and other exports in a move designed to isolate and cripple the Russian economy.
We're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple, and they'll be at 100%.
President Trump also endorsing a bipartisan Russian sanctions bill, though he said it may not be necessary. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanking President Trump for his support. The shifting posture a major change for a president who's long touted his relationship with Putin and promised to end the war his first day in office.
All talk, and then missiles go into Kiev and kill 60 people. It's got to stop.
President Trump now backing words with weapons in a push to change the tide of a grinding war. In domestic news, the Supreme Court handed the Trump administration another win, allowing mass layoffs at the Department of Education to move forward. A federal judge had ruled the White House needed approval from Congress to effectively dismantle the department, but the Supreme Court granted an emergency application blocking that lower order. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The first asylum seeker detained by ICE here in Portland is released after a judge ruled against the federal government. An update on that case coming up at 8:30. Plus, 4 boys apprehended in New York City after doing this. Hitching a ride on the top of a moving subway train. It's actually becoming a regular occurrence and problem. How the NYPD is dealing with it.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We start this morning check-in at 8:29 with a traffic alert on the east side of Vancouver. Photojournalist Eric Patterson on the scene of this crash that has 205 southbound a mess right now. No word on injuries or the extent thereof, but you can see ongoing activity on both the left and the right side of the freeway. This is near 10th Street, right north of SR 14, and that's got I-205 southbound lined up now. There's the live look at Mill Plain. That lineup extends back towards SR 500 and actually all the way back towards Paddon Parkway. Right now, that trip in from Paddon Parkway has ballooned up to 46 minutes to get you down to the Banfield. You might want to try I-5 instead. That's a 28-minute ride to get you down to the Fremont Bridge. Rod?
All right, Chris, thanks for that. Wow. Temperature-wise, we're really nice out there right now. We're at 59 degrees. Of course, 8:30 in the morning coming up, and temperatures are on the move. We do have the KGW weather impact alert for the hot weather starting at noon and then going through tomorrow evening. Could have a rapid jump around the noon hour, hitting 80 and then 94 at 5 o'clock. The main concern is really tomorrow's 98, and we get a break from the heat the next day on Thursday.
Starbucks secret menu has been a thing for years, with coffee lovers coming up with new ways to customize their drinks. So now the company is holding a secret menu contest. This week, customers can submit their best customized beverages online for a chance to win a grand prize of $25,000.
Ooh.
It's about 4,500 Starbucks lattes. If you do the math, somebody in our new station did. Bless their hearts. Starbucks also just launched a new tab on its app that features some popular secret menus, but you can't get it.
You can't get it.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah, you
access
tried.
it. Can't access it.
Wow.
So there's a flaw in the system. I've tried.
Isn't the language interesting? When Starbucks first got in the cappuccino and the double pump this and the half whip and the light that, and I'm in there listening, I'm the guy that orders a latte, and I'm like, who came up with this new coffee language, right?
Starbucks language.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother language.
And I had no idea there was a secret menu to begin with.
It's not a secret menu. It's not a secret menu. It's just a way to customize your drink. So
I like mine hot, please.
shake an espresso with 1 pump of this, but usually it comes with 2 pumps. It's just adjusting to your liking. We have a lot of things to get to today. We'll get to weather in a second, but first we have to talk about traffic.
Yeah, this is a big deal, right? So I want to start off with this. A traffic alert on the east side of Vancouver. Photojournalist Eric Patterson made the trek up there fighting through traffic to get you this live shot. I don't have the word on any injuries or the extent thereof, but you're looking live right now on I-205, and that's kind of gnarly right now. It looks like a car spun around facing the wrong direction and then another car over on the shoulder. And again, for perspective, this is near 10th Street. So south of Mill Plain, north of SR 14. It's been there for more than an hour. And as you can imagine, it is doing a number on the southbound 205 commute. This is the live look right now at Mill Plain. You can see the activity off in the distance, right? Traffic is stacked up now a good 6 miles on I-205 southbound. The cars are crawling right now from SR 500 and back up towards Paddon Parkway now. So that drive in from Paddon Parkway down to the Banfield has ballooned up to 40-ish minutes, give or take, to get down to I-84. So big traffic alert there. I-5's not great, but the end of the line has made its way south of SR 500. From there, you're looking at 30 minutes or so to get you into the Fremont Bridge. And then we've got the normal slowing elsewhere. The drive from Wilsonville is up a little bit right now, 40 minutes to get you in from Wilsonville Road to downtown. Rod?
All right. Well, thank you. It is what it is, I guess, Chris. Here's a look at our weather. It's a great morning out there. You would have no idea that today's the day we start to heat up, but we will heat up this afternoon. Let's get you out the door. Asylum Tasting Room in Sherwood. Now up to 60 degrees. Beautiful to look out over the vineyard. Downtown Portland, perfectly clear, 59. Winds are light west-northwest. Here comes the red with the impact alert, and the National Weather Service has a heat advisory starting at noon today, going through tomorrow evening. Now, today's not that bad. Just getting back up into the 90s. 80 at noon and maybe 94 degrees. But tomorrow, we still think there actually could be a 100-degree spot in the valley somewhere. So tomorrow is the day that we're really focused on. Now, here are the afternoon temps on this Tuesday. And realize, east of the Cascades, you folks are actually cooling down. You've been hot the last couple of days, not today. Bend 83, Pendleton 85, Baker City 79 at 5 o'clock. Here are the low to perhaps mid-90s up and down I-5 for actual highs, and the clearing with much of the beach expected to get up into the 70s. Our impact alert this afternoon and then tomorrow. Today 94, hot. Tomorrow 98. We haven't been that hot. That's why there's big time concern tomorrow. It will be the hottest day of the year, assuming we at least make it to 97. And then we drop the heat on Thursday to 90, maybe not even that warm. And then by the weekend, we may or may not hit 80, especially if we get some early clouds, followed by afternoon sunshine. So following our hot weather story for us live in Clackamas is Thomas Schultz of Clackamas County. And Thomas, you're going to get into what we need to be aware of with our bodies and the heat, right?
Yeah, Rod, there's a lot that officials are urging people to do. One of the biggest things, of course, whenever you see heat like this, first and foremost, is to stay hydrated. Here in Clackamas County, with those temperatures expected to be in the 90s and possibly even touching 100 tomorrow, that's the biggest thing, is to make sure you're drinking water. Stay away from sugary drinks and alcoholic drinks as well. Clackamas County officials are also urging people to take cool showers and stay in air-conditioned spaces if you're able to do so. The Oregon Department of Human Services says people should check on family members, friends, and neighbors, really especially people who are living alone. If they're older too, those are the most vulnerable people when it's hot like it's going to be over the next couple of days. Never leave a pet or a child in a vehicle alone, and limit physical activity outside. Even if you are an athlete and are in really good shape, it's going to be really hot out there. If you're sweating heavily, feel weak, dizzy, or nauseous, you may be experiencing heat exhaustion. If you have those symptoms, move into a cool space, preferably that's shady. Make sure you're drinking water again, of course. If you're becoming confused, lose consciousness, and have a high body temperature, that could be a sign of heat stroke. If that happens, call 911 immediately. Now, the Oregon Department of Emergency Management is really urging people to take caution and take these next couple of days seriously. Reminder, guys, last year, 11 people died during a heat stroke in early July that began around the July 4th holiday. Obviously, people are trying to prevent something like that from happening again. So again, take those cautions. Make sure you're checking in with yourself, with your own body, and making sure you're hydrated. But also, again, make sure you're checking in with neighbors, family, friends, especially those people who may live alone or don't have air conditioning. Guys?
All right, Thomas Schultz covering one of our big stories here today, live in Milwaukee. Of course, Thomas, we will continue to cover the story throughout the day today. That includes on KGW News at noon, coming up here in just a few hours. We'll also have continuing coverage tomorrow morning on Sunrise. Rod with the latest forecast. Keep in mind, you can only watch the final 2 hours of our Sunrise show right here on KGW+. We're here every weekday morning from 7 to 9 a.m.
After 40 days in solitary confinement, a judge ordered the release of the first asylum seeker arrested by ICE in Portland. The court ruled that she was deceived by the federal government.
Yeah, lawyers say their transgender client was lawfully applying for asylum after fleeing Mexico to escape cartel violence. Here's KGW's Alma McCarty with more.
Outside Portland's federal courthouse.
Today was a hearing on our habeas petition on her behalf, alleging many due process violations.
Attorneys celebrate another asylum seeker's release from ICE detention.
The judge agreed that her rights had been violated by the government's conduct and ordered her release, so she should be coming home today.
This latest case involving a 24-year-old transgender woman from Mexico, referred to in court documents as OJM. Jordan Cunnings, the legal director at Innovation Law Lab, says she's been in solitary confinement for more than 40 days for her own safety.
She's a transgender woman, and this administration denies the existence of transgender people and would hold her with men otherwise.
She was the first person in Portland, they say, targeted by ICE's immigration courthouse arrests.
On June 2nd, she was deceived into accepting dismissal of her case before the Portland Immigration Court so that masked agents could arrest her immediately after and detain her in Tacoma.
This team of lawyers also successfully fought for the release of 4 others, all arrested after immigration court hearings, all now back home with family.
The administration is trying to maintain a reign of illegality, and judges are stepping in and affirming that we are all entitled to due process, all members of the Oregon community, including immigrants.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Another note to Alma's report there, the Innovation Law Lab will appeal the dismissal of the original removal proceedings to the Board of Immigration Appeals, all in hopes that the transgender woman at the center of this case can continue to seek asylum. We also reached out to ICE about this case, but we haven't heard back yet.
It's prime berry season in Oregon, and local farms are feeling the pressure amid growing concerns about immigration enforcement. We spoke to the co-owner and president of Unger Farms in Cornelius, who says that they were nervous that pickers might not show up this season fearing ICE arrest. The farm depends on experienced pickers to harvest their berries and say that they have a strict visitation policy at the farm that requires visitors to sign in at the farm's front office. Despite the concerns, the farm says that workers are still showing up because they need money for food and rent for their families.
They still coming and not quite be so scared because we've been telling people, you know what, it's not going to happen here, but they're really aware and worried.
We want to make sure that not anyone can just go and talk to our own employees and that it is a safe place for people to work.
While local workers are showing up, the Farmer Workers Union says that pickers from out of state might not.
Some neighbors are pushing back on the city's plan to open up an overnight homeless shelter in Portland's Pearl District.
KGW's Catherine Cook was at the neighborhood meeting last night where residents hoped to talk with city leaders, but that didn't end up happening.
In Northwest Portland, neighbors from in and around the Pearl District gathered to oppose the city's plans for an overnight homeless shelter.
We want to help, but we're not the cause.
It's slated for this building on the corner of Northwest 15th and Northrop.
If you know people that haven't written the mayor, keep writing them.
City officials tell us the 200-bed shelter would be low barrier, meaning people who stay here don't have to be sober. A chance, they say, for those people to move on to the next step of their housing journey.
Honestly, I think it's a really dumb idea.
Carly Ryder lives downtown and owns rental properties in the area. Instead of low barrier shelters, she wants to see more drug enforcement and a tangible plan to help people who want it.
I think it's just making it worse because it's just letting them congregate in those areas. They give them a place to sleep, kick them out during the day, and what are they going to do but hang around our buildings?
The Northrop shelter will bring Mayor Keith Wilson one step closer to reaching his goal of adding 1,500 new overnight shelter beds by December.
Come to us with a real plan that isn't fast-tracked and half-baked campaign promise.
Todd Zarnitz is the president of the Northwest District Association, which put on this meeting. He's thrilled that so many people showed up.
I think it sends a message that this is not just a few people have concerns. This is a whole neighborhood that is very concerned about this project.
Zarnitz says he invited multiple city council members, county commissioners, nonprofit heads, and the mayor to this meeting, and none of them showed up.
And for Mayor Wilson's part, we did not receive any response from that office at all. So.
That, to me, says it's a bad plan. Because if it wasn't, why aren't you here?
KGW reached out to the mayor's office. A spokesperson sent us this newsletter the mayor published last month titled, "Here's what I want you to know about emergency shelters." In it, Mayor Wilson writes, quote, "My plan only works if host neighborhoods are empowered and safe. I'm determined to win the trust of emergency shelter neighbors and surrounding businesses through tangible improvements. That's why my budget includes increased funds for residential street cleaning, graffiti removal, derelict vehicle towing, and engagement workers." Despite pushback from neighbors, the city says they're still on track to open the shelter by September.
It's not enough to say, like, hey, we're in charge, everybody just stay home and we'll worry about it. You know, this is a community of people that have real concerns and that are being ignored, frankly.
All right, before we get to Chris, take a look at this. A group of 4 boys were caught subway surfing in New York City last week. The boys, who police say were 12 to 16 years old, were riding on top of an express train. 12 years old, people.
That's nuts, man.
Police later took the 4 into custody. NYPD says that they've stopped 200 people from subway surfing since 2023.
That is, I don't know. Had you seen that video earlier, Chris?
I heard you guys talking about it, but now that I'm actually getting the time to really
Why? Why?
Our director, Brian Matthews, was saying he thought maybe the criminal charges were too much and they should just be sent back to their parents for punishments. But, you know, you never know the situation, right?
Well, the parents are going to be punished for what their parents want to do to their children, let alone what they actually do to them.
Right. Maybe, or maybe there's no parenting going on. Who knows what's going on?
Be.
But I get why you want to take this so seriously, because you could be endangering other people's lives.
For sure.
Yeah. You know, if something goes terribly wrong, are they going to, is the family going to sue because of this negligence by the kid? It's a bad problem, and they need to get down. They need to crack it down.
And this is a thing too,
yeah,
right? This
it's becoming a growing problem.
This is one of the first times we've seen it on camera, but it's like some sort of social media thing. Or
I thought it was like out of a Mission Impossible movie. I didn't realize this was real life in New York City on the daily.
I think it said earlier in the show you were talking about how it was 200 arrests they've made for this.
Okay, wow. So there you go. So we don't have that traffic situation to worry about.
No,
here.
we have another alert.
Okay.
And an update on that, by the way. Photojournalist Eric Patterson is live on the scene now. So he tells us now that those cars have just been removed from I-205 southbound. You can see one of the washout incident responders there on scene. Not all the cars involved removed, but at least the travel lanes are open. So that's good news. I don't know the extent of the injuries. This crash happened more than an hour ago, though. And the damage, so to speak, done to the morning commute on the east side of Vancouver. We are still really plugged up from Mill Plain back past SR 500, back to nearly Patton Parkway. The traffic here up around Patton Parkway is puttering along at about 25 miles an hour. So you put that all together, and the drive time in from Patton Parkway south to Interstate 84 is a solid 42 to 45 minutes. Now, that said, this should improve steadily now that all lanes are open, but still a real slow go. I-5, not great. That's about a 30-minute ride in from Main Street. Other drive times that are swollen this morning, the inbound Sunset, 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Most of that lineup starts inside of 217, and I-5 from Wilsonville, slow northbound through Tualatin, and then again from Capitol Highway to the tune of nearly 40 minutes. I do have one other trouble spot that just popped up. Westbound on the Sunset now, it looks like there's a disabled vehicle near the zoo, and you follow the line back on I-405. It is slowing traffic coming off the Fremont Bridge onto the westbound Sunset. So, fun stuff not out there this morning as we roll on after this break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
It's official. We've been waiting, and it's time. The new name for the Portland WNBA team is the Portland Fire.
There it is. There it is, right there on your screen. The new logo to go with the team name. Now, the team name is, I'm going to call it an old name that's new again.
Oldie but goodie.
But that is a brand new logo. The old Portland Fire from the early 2000s did not have a logo that looked, in my opinion, this sharp. This is a pretty cool logo with that burning rose there at the bottom. You can, by the way, check out the new merchandise. You can buy new merch right now at fire.wnba.com. Two dots. Fire.wnba.com.
We want to know your thoughts on the new team name, the logo. So here's what we got. I hate the logo.
You don't have the viewer's name here. A nameless viewer
But
says,
I love the
I hate
name.
the logo.
Too busy. I love the name, but we are on fire to beat all the other teams. See what you did there? See what you did there?
I like that.
Very positive one here, right? Love it. Love the logo. Go Fire. There it is. And then lastly here, we heard from Mary Rodriguez. She says, I think it's okay we have a WNBA team. Very cool logo. But then she says, I really want a baseball team here in Portland. We definitely need one to cheer for. So she's using the Fire's big day to make another push for baseball.
Yeah.
Which I agree, because I think baseball typically has better food than basketball games, which...
Well, I mean, I just want a hot dog and a Coke, or maybe a beer.
This guy's not
I'm
looking for much.
I'm not the guy to ask.
He's a simple man.
Hey, by the way, we will be covering more on the team today. There you go, right there on your screen. There's a launch party happening at the Moda Center starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon, a party that we will stream live right here on KGW Plus, also, Rod, starting at 3 p.m.
Hey, our Thomas Schultz has been out reporting live for us in Clackamas County this morning, and Thomas made reference to the fact that we lost lives in the July heat wave a year ago. So I thought I'd remind you how bad that heat wave was. On July 4th, July 2024, it was 92. Not so bad. But that kicked off the following days. It went 99, 99, 100, 102, 104, and 93. We're looking nothing like that this week. We're basically looking at back-to-back 90-degree days. Maybe we just make it to 90 on Thursday, and the hottest temperature for Portland should stay under 100 degrees. So with that said, here's the temperature march. The heat advisory for today starts at noon, and then we'll get up, I like this, 94 from Portland down Eugene. That's not overly hot. That's just good old-fashioned. It's a hot summer day, right? But the problem is tomorrow we think we'll take it up another notch, and tomorrow if we go 98, 99, 98, 98, it will be the hottest we have been so far this summer. Not record heat, not 100, but the hottest we've been. And the Air Mass does, as a forecaster, at least support that somebody could hit 100 degrees tomorrow in the valley. The same data actually supports the winds that would curve more to the east today, curving back to the west during the day tomorrow, which sometimes that really stifles the warming. You don't get as warm as what you think you're going to be, but we'll see. That's what the models are showing. Notice today and tomorrow the hottest weather will be up and down the Willamette Valley here in Oregon. It won't be as warm out east, where you folks are actually getting a bit of a break from your heat you've had the last couple of days. This shows Baker City tomorrow afternoon at 85 degrees and only around 80 today, by the way. So what about the beach? Well, this is the sunniest Schnookwan's Casino Resort cameras looked all morning as we're starting to get out of the fog banks. The wind is not overly dominant, and if the winds are light to calm, guess what almost always will take over at the beach? That's westerlies off the Pacific. So our modeling, like sun, likes much of the coast at least getting up to about 70. So we'll see, but there's no signs of a screaming east wind that would really warm you up. Here's a look at the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles, where winds are light right now. Forecast projections are northeast breeze in the gorge this afternoon, 10 to 20 miles per hour. There's our state capital, and with the sun, and 59 in Portland and Salem right now. 57 up in Astoria, 66 over in Bend. Here are the forecast numbers. This day one of hot weather returning. Mid-90s today. Again, plan your day accordingly. We could be 80 as early as noon, or certainly no later than 1 o'clock this afternoon, and then warming up. This shows low 90s in Longview and Battleground, but perhaps 94 in Vancouver. Out in the gorge, not as hot as the valley. Low 90s, not bad by your standards. That northeast wind I mentioned, 10 to 20. Here's the 2 days of the impact alert. 94 today, 98 tomorrow, and then maybe we don't make it to 90 Thursday, as I mentioned. Maybe it's cooler. And for the weekend, maybe we don't even get up to 80, especially if we get some early clouds. So let's get through today, let's get through tomorrow, then it will be more comfortable. Here's Chris. No, before Chris, we have a birthday. My bad. Birthday time, celebration. Here's Cameron in Milwaukee, 39 today. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a wonderful day today. Cameron is our entire party. I like a one-person party, you always have. 39, happy birthday. Birthday's at KGW.com, and we'll celebrate with you. Here is Mr. Miguel.
Rod, we pick it up with that traffic alert. Okay, good news, bad news. The bad news is the drive times. The good news is the drive times. The bad news is they're rough. The good news is they're actually improving. I-205 southbound, photojournalist Eric Patterson on the scene of this earlier crash near Southeast 10th Street. That's one of the cars that was involved in the wreck. Not sure if this one was or not. They just towed another one off the left shoulder, and you can see traffic is moving now. So that's the good news. I don't have any injury reports to share with you, but the lineup is still pretty significant on I-205 southbound. It extends from Mill Plain right here, back past SR 500, almost to Patton Parkway. Now, things are starting to improve a little bit, but you can see this is way heavier than normal for your drive time on that side of town. So 40 minutes gets you from Patton Parkway to the Banfield. Also, the drive time's up elsewhere, 35 minutes now, your northbound I-5 trip from Wilsonville to downtown. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Here's a quick recap of some of this morning's top local stories. 20 cooling centers are open in Clackamas County to help people deal with this week's heat, from Wilsonville to Milwaukee to Welch's. Splash pads also open up in the county to help people cool down. Keep in mind, the National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory for not just Clackamas County, but areas from Eugene to the south, up north through Longview, all of that area, from noon today through 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Cooling centers, by the way, not open up yet in Multnomah County. New this morning, the Cram Fire that's burning in Central Oregon near Madras has exploded to more than 28,000 acres at this point. Officials say it is now the largest wildfire burning in Oregon. Firefighters say gusty winds caused it to grow to the south and east, sparking evacuation orders, including in the Ashwood community. Level 3 Go Now orders are in place south of Antelope along Highway 293 and east from Highway 97 all the way to Wheeler County. Also, something we've been talking about for the last 3 hours. We now know the name of Portland's WNBA team, which will take the court next summer. It's the Portland Fire. It was also the Portland Fire 20 years ago when the city last had a WNBA team. A big celebration is planned for today at the Moda Center starting at 3 o'clock to celebrate not just the team name, but also the new team logo you see right there. We'll cover the festivities today on KGW Plus, again, starting at 3 p.m.
And weather-wise, it's a really comfortable morning. Our temperatures start to rise around noon and will be 94 later today with the heat advisory and the KGW weather impact alert. The main concern is tomorrow's upper 90s. Right now, it looks like we'll have a rapid cool down Thursday into Friday.
Rod, the big traffic alert on the east side of Vancouver. You're looking live right now from photojournalist Eric Patterson's shot near Southeast 10th Street. So the crash is cleared, but the backup remains, and that's what it looks like getting up past Mill Plain. So you're driving from Patton Parkway to the Banfield, still a solid 40 minutes. That is a manhole cover that was, well, that disappeared on Kittredge near, St. Helens Road near Kittredge. So they put a temporary fix in there, but that red line shows the lineup on eastbound Highway 30. So we still have some delays coming in from the St. John's Bridge as a result of that.
That is giving you information all the way up to the final seconds of our
Seconds
show.
count.
But we will see you tomorrow for another sunrise starting at 5 a.m.